Kratos. Kratos was not on because yeah, something that is like that. Anyways, it's your boy Master Chief, and today I have a live event pulled up with my friend Thor, Venom, who's a bad guy also, and her Shield too.
Legendary.
Are you guys ready to see the live event today?
No.
I'll take that. Alright. Okay, there's only 1 minute left, so...
Wait, where'd she go? Oh, she... Okay.
I'm right here, Kratos.
Yes, Chief.
Alright, so anyways...
Where?
If you're new to Master Chief's channel, make sure to like and subscribe.
There's no people watching
one
there
like,
because,
one
you
like
know.
equals 1 punch for Harley Quinn. I'm just kidding.
One like equals one.
It's only a couple more seconds left, so I should probably be waiting.
Chief, you know you can talk normal, right?
I like this voice. Better if it's me.
Yes, Chief. Yeah, I got Chief voice again. Hey! 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 Hey!
Oh,
hey!
Hold on, live and starting starting at 13, 13.
Where is the live event? Wait.
9, 8, 7, 6.
So we just
5,
press
4,
the button.
3, 2, 1. Yeah. Ooh, something's going on. Seems like.
Ooh. What is this?
Who's in the bathroom?
Oh.
Who's in the bathroom? What are you doing?
Oh.
What do you think you're doing?
Wait, where is it?
Oh my God.
Oh, it's at the big screen. The big screen. The big screen.
You give me a
Over here.
yet? No.
Chief. Chief.
So you do not?
Chief, over
You
here.
do not hide nothing from me? You must tell me everything? You do not hide shit from me? Nothing.
Wait, we don't gotta go to the big screen. We have it on the side of the screen.
You ain't doing that.
We're going to the big screen.
Managed fellow community
No, fuck that. Everybody.
welcome all to the show today.
Wow, watch your mouth!
Exciting topics to talk about, but first I would
Every
like
time I
Right.
questions for our guest today at
Oh, wow.
Twitch.tv.
Oh, yeah, you have a couple times.
And now let's dive into today's first topic. I think without question,
Now
the
pay
hottest
back the
topic in the
bitch,
games
ain't it?
industry today, or this year, is the release of next-gen consoles, which brings many advancements in hardware and core technologies. We know that lots of studios are already shipping next-gen games with Unreal Engine 4. And I'd like to talk a little bit to you all about what is it about the next-gen consoles that has you the most excited about the future of the games industry?
Very nice.
I can go on that.
Oh my
Immersion for me is something really cool. I think that the amount of immersion and realism in video games is really exciting. And the amount of technology that's behind it.
Whoa.
When I was younger,
Chill, Chief.
there was a lot of things I wanted. I feel like we're now just getting into that area where it's just it becomes very realistic and very immersive and very cool. So I think there's a lot of really exciting stuff for the player, but I also think for creatives,
I'm going up here.
stuff as well. It's inspiring.
Tim,
I'll have to hold myself off from nerding out too much, but there's a lot of great advancements.
Tim, you're sweat.
I will
Sweat.
right now. I will
The RDNA architecture for the GPU.
Wait, does this say sweat?
Consoles is great. The amount of power.
Say, wait.
Can
Tim.
very big step from what we had before. The fact that we've got some real powered CPU.
You better not take away no from shotguns, buddy.
A lot of possibilities for
No,
the
he
gameplay.
took away the shotgun.
Shut up, ghost.
There'll be a lot
Ghost, son.
less trouble.
Son, ghost.
Games that would have been fine on a PC, but would have struggled on a console with a real CPU.
Huh?
That would be similar to what you have on the PC. Making something that can work across both is going to be a lot less difficult. And of course, the major change is the SSD hard drives and the I/O infrastructure supporting them. Like being able to stream and high bandwidth enables mean, the obvious things of less load times, which really helps.
I need a quiet house
as a gamer,
for like
being able to
2 hours, dude.
die and then reload immediately.
That's pretty cool.
Not having to wallow in your...
But it also enables things that aren't just that sort of like typical like load screen, how long is my load screen, but it enables us to be able to move things in and out of RAM.
Everyone shoots into me. Everyone shoots into me.
What used to be such a critical component, which is how much RAM the machine
Bring back the punch shotgun. Bring it
it's
back.
still, important how much working RAM you have. It
Bring it
still
back.
matters,
Bring it back.
but it matters a lot
Bring
less
Tim.
if you can cycle things
Bring
in
back
and out
punch
of
shotgun.
RAM from the drive.
Wait, no, Tim,
Just enables a
wait,
lot
Tim,
more,
you got,
bigger worlds.
you got a little
more
something on your
vibrant
chin
worlds,
here,
there's a lot
buddy.
more data that can be there, and we can move
Tim,
it in and out
Tim.
really fast.
They can't
It's the
even
immersion stuff that really gets me excited. The technologies you're talking about.
Tim.
Yeah,
It enables that.
all that
basically, yeah.
enables the immersion, like that.
Tim
that's
was
the sort of
eating
foundational
something good.
Atomic blocks that enable that sort of immersive thing.
Yeah, it's really cool.
And here at
Oh,
Epic,
this is
what do we do to get ready
okay,
for all
I did
of this
not
in
know
terms of
that.
preparing Unreal Engine for next gen?
Well, we've been preparing for a while. So like there is evolutionary jumps that happen.
Oh,
like,
so
we've
these
been
are the
working
people
My
on,
lab
that
is so
virtual
stressed.
can support
Everyone
like really
shoots
large
into me.
resolution
Everyone
textures.
Tim, why are you eating tomatoes?
You know,
Tim,
that
Tim,
having
everyone
the
shoots him.
low
Everyone
latency,
shoots him.
high bandwidth
Everyone
SSD
shoots
No,
is
Tim,
something that
no.
supports
Bring
that.
back the punch
But
shotgun.
then we
Tim,
also,
Tim,
for
please. Tim,
UZ5,
please.
decided to
First time
invest
I've
in a
ever
number
seen me.
of
First time I've
technologies
ever
that
seen me
are
in
really
my life.
only possible.
Tim, you sweat, you butt, you.
The two of which
Ah!
were like key things that we showed
Well,
off
that's just get
in
Kratos.
our last
Put you in here.
No.
was nanite
Put you right here in the
virtual
corner.
geometry, like
No.
micro polygon level
You're my big boss. Watching
and Lumen, our dynamic GI system that gives like really beautiful lighting that's completely dynamic with no bake times. Those two technologies
Brian.
are really
Wait,
kind of this
let her just.
perfect recipe for
Yeah,
enabling
Brian,
these new
shut up.
experiences
No one wants.
and
no
visuals
one
that
asked
are
me.
like far beyond what we could
Yeah.
have even like imagined.
I didn't
possible
ask.
with
I want to make a Halo
Voice
5
Brian.
game. Get the Halo 5
Tim,
game
the
right
If you're
now.
sailor.
aware about what Brian is
Give me
talking
a
about right
Wait,
now,
does
Right
Tim
now.
have something? Wait, actually, Tim has something on his
It
chin.
looks
Sorry, I
like
jumped
it
the
looks
gun
like the
a bit.
red gun. It
Hey,
looks
so
like the red gun.
Why does Tim look
Yeah,
like
these
a
efforts
sad
were
alien,
pretty
bro?
long-tailed efforts. Like,
It
it's
looks
been
like the red gun
investment
from
that we've been
Agent
doing.
No, come all the way up here and look at his face closely. It looks like a whole alien.
We had access
No,
to
it doesn't.
and
It doesn't look like
collaborated
Kratos.
with
It
both
looks like
Sony and
stuff.
Microsoft.
Oh my god.
Would be. But some of it is
I'm
also
going
really
over
just
here to watch it on my
seeing
own,
where
so I
things are
won't.
going, what sort of possibilities
Yeah.
I'll watch it with you.
to exploit.
Okay.
Kratos, what are you doing? Kratos, what are you doing?
I don't.
There's been some amazing
I-
breakthroughs
I'm
in this
not-
generation on the code
Kratos,
side,
come
but
back here.
content is also
No.
a really important
No.
consideration.
No. No.
Unreal Engine
Kratos, come
5,
back. Kratos, come back
100
over here.
million
No one's even over
polygon
there.
geometry.
Catch me if you
It doesn't mean
can.
an artist
Catch
can
me
just
if you
sit down and
can.
create one
You
on
can't
20
catch me. I'm too fast.
Right, so Epic's a huge amount of investment in
No,
next
Chief.
generation
Chief,
content
don't come
pipelines,
over here.
building content libraries like with the Quixel Megascans library, bringing Quix 1 to the Epic family, and making all of the content available to Unreal Engine developers.
Mom, you know.
Like we did with the Nanite demo, just bring in all of that
Finally,
content that's been
talking to
scanned from the real world, and then adjust it and tweak it to meet your needs and build entire environments without having to build every piece by yourself.
Alright, Tim.
That's
why
really
bring
exciting.
back the shotguns, Tim. Please,
Yeah, it's
please,
an
Tim.
incredible data set. The quality of those assets is really high. I remember some years ago when I was first talking with artists about photogrammetry, where there was initially a fear of, oh, you're going to make our jobs obsolete. And in fact, it's quite the opposite. It's like, really, we're just getting rid of some of the boring tasks. Like how much creative effort is it going to go into making just like a board? Really, the more creative.
Alright, this is the end of the stream. Since nobody wants to watch me in their old bogus.
I'll watch it, bro.
It's really quite astonishing for anybody on this team who hasn't seen it. Google Pixel, PIXL, and just check out the massive library of scans of assets all around the world. Movie quality resolution. It's all possible to render in
They keep adding more and more all the time. It's really, really incredible seeing all the work they're doing.
I'm gonna go watch some YouTube now. Bye bye.
Okay. Real world scans, in fact, so they're an actual real world item. We're going to go back. A little bit talk about Unreal Engine 5 in just a bit. Before that, I wanted to talk a little bit about what happened back in August when Epic gave Fortnite players on iOS and Google Play a choice between Apple and Google Payment and Epic Direct Payment, passing on savings to players. Both Apple and Google retaliated by blocking Fortnite updates and kicking the game off their stores. Now, Epic has taken up the fight for fair terms on digital stores in an effort to give developers a more level playing field and to open up more choices and freedoms to everyone. Tim, would you want to give us a little bit of information on what all this is about?
Sure, this is one. All developers kind of live under the thumb of Apple and Google, who exert total control over the supply of apps for iOS and Android. And they do this in slightly different ways. Apple by explicitly banning all competitors, and Google by just making it harder to install competing software. But this is a fight for the entire game industry and the future of the industry. If these monopolies can not only control the supply of games, but also control curation, and say that entire categories of new applications like xCloud and NVIDIA's GeForce Now and Google Stadia cannot exist on iOS devices, then it's going to be a really bleak future for everybody who is a creator of any sort. So we decided to fight this. And you might have heard of the code name that was leaked at some point. It was called Project Liberty internally. And our aim is to really change the status quo and open up the app stores on mobile platforms so that all developers have an equal chance. And every component of the ecosystem, from payments to stores to engines and friend services and everything else, can compete freely. Resulting in better deals for developers and better deals for consumers as well. This effort launched back in August, but we've already seen some major changes in the mobile ecosystem. Apple lowered their revenue share from 30% to 15% for developers who make less than $1 million a year. That's really interesting because it means that that's about 98% of developers benefit from that, but only about 5% of purchases are made from the games built by these small developers, and so it really doesn't help consumers at all, and it doesn't do anything to restore competitive pricing that would exist if these 30% taxes weren't being collected. And so this is an ongoing fight. The cases will go on. The Apple case is set for trial next year in May. The Google trial 2022, and there's going to be a lot happening in the meantime in the regulatory front. It's really a great opportunity for the community to come together and fight for our futures as creators, so that every creator in the future, including those who haven't even been born yet, have the chance that I had when I was a kid, which was to build software on my own, to release it directly to gamers, and to not have to ask a middleman for permission to do those things.
Exciting times, special times for sure. A lot of unusual things have happened this year. That's definitely the case for all of us. Why don't we go ahead and play the free Fortnite video for all of you who haven't seen that.
Today celebrates the anniversary of the platform unification directives. For years they have given us their songs, their labor, their dreams. In exchange, we have taken our tribute, our profits, our control. This power is ours and ours alone. We shall prevail.
was a little over dramatic, but okay.
Interesting references there.
Nice hat, Tim.
The hats are key to the battle.
Excellent. Yeah, so that's, you know, if you hadn't seen it before, it's a great testament to the initiative at large. So moving on to probably Unreal Engine's biggest announcement of the year. Earlier, we announced Unreal Engine 5. It was our first showcase, or the first showcase of Pixels running live on the PlayStation 5 with Lumen in the land of Nanite. So if you haven't seen that video, we'd like to go ahead and show it for you now.
Wait, there's something going on. Stop throwing tomatoes, look. Or pizzas. Look at the screen, look at the screen. I forgot to here, look. Look at the screen. That's very nice.
Nice bugs. Don't mind me.
So the demo showcases both the new virtualized polygon geometry technology, Nanite, and Lumen, a fully dynamic global illumination solution. And these are what Brian was sort of mentioning earlier. Would you kind of dive into that a little more and actually the impact that'll have on developers in this next generation?
Yeah, sure. It's with Nanite, you get this ability to bring in like film quality, like super high poly assets without the need to do major optimization steps beforehand. This like trims down the amount of time it takes to take a really high quality. Bring it in, be able to see it live, and not just see it for the first time, but to be able to actually ship that asset at its full quality and build a whole world with thousands, hundreds of thousands of those objects in the world, or millions, I guess we actually support. Sometimes these numbers actually get away from me. You can place millions of these objects now. It's pretty incredible. And then Lumen for the real-time global illumination. You can give like actually dynamic worlds, changing light sources, moving objects around, and not have to go through these like long bake steps to be able to see the process. Like for a lighting artist to be able to just put their lights where they want them to be, interactively place it, and just see it live just real time, what you see is what you get sort of workflows are really powerful from the content creator and the things that it enables. For the game, for the world to be more dynamic. So those were two really interesting technologies, really cool stuff that we showed off in the demo. But there's a lot more that is coming along with UE5. A lot of content workflows, like animation technology, sound system. There's a ton of cooking pipeline, editor workflows. Like there's the list goes on and on of things that are going to be in UE5. And I think what's also cool here is this is just where we're starting. Like this is the beginning. Like this is just the beginning of the generation, and this is already what stuff looks like. It's really exciting to see where we go. Like all the different ideas that we have yet to actually try, different pieces of technology that we haven't really been able to push to their fullest extent. Aspects of the hardware that we're just now able to exploit. So it's really exciting to see this is where we're starting.
Yeah, I remember watching this demo for the first time and getting so many goosebumps, just in awe at the story and all of the pieces behind it, and knowing what and like you said, thinking about the potential of the games coming in the future. So it's can't imagine what we're going to see even beyond, and from the folks in our community digging into this, and it's just a really exciting time to be in development, right?
Yeah, it really is, with cinematic type of stuff especially as well. It just, there's so much great quality stuff that you can get from this technology. It's really exciting.
Make it so that a content creator, their assets, make their content in a way that is easy for them to make, in a way that hits the detail level that they want. They can bring it into the engine, or create it in the engine in that way initially, and not have to work through so many technical details and what it takes to hit your real-time frame rates, or what it takes to actually realize the thing that they're trying to shoot for. Try to minimize that gap between what they imagined or what was easy for them to create and what they could ship, and shrink that gap down to as small, or if nothing at all, as possible, so they could just create the thing and ship the thing.
And for those that are super excited to get their hands on these tools, we'll be going into preview in early 2021. This will be the time to try them out. We'll be trying to gather as much feedback as possible so that we can really make a solid launch, which we're aiming for at the end of 2021. Also, in line with our UE5 announcements, we did revise our royalty system, to requesting only 5% once $1 million is earned. Tim, would you give feedback on what inspired us to make this change? It's a pretty significant jump from our old system.
Yeah, it was a funny process. Somebody suggested Epic exempt the first $100,000 of revenue from royalties on Twitter, just because of the difficulty of being an indie developer and getting a game off the ground. So I brought that into a meeting, and the team talked about it. And Dan Vogel, who's extraordinary engineer and very analytic, said, "Why only $100,000?" We had a long discussion about what is the threshold at which a developer is actually still struggling. If you're one person, $1 million is a lot, but if you're a team of 10 or 15 people working for a year or two, then it might not be a lot at all. And so we settled on that number eventually. And guess what? It's being validated because Apple now changed their terms to give these sub-$1 million indie developers a special deal as well. And so I think this is a great deal, and kind of a great direction in the industry to acknowledge these challenges of companies launching their businesses, and to really support them this way.
Coming from once being on a small indie team, and at the time of launch realizing that, oh wait, now we actually have to send money to people because we are actually about to do this, right? And then knowing that, oh no, it's only if we succeed that we actually have to worry about this, right? And so if you're using, say, Unreal Engine and Blender, you can just develop your game, ship it, And if you succeed, you now, you know, and succeed pretty well, I would say, hitting that $1 million bar. And at that point, you can actually start, you know, maybe potentially bring in someone to help you with all of that instead of just being, you know, a couple of scrappy developers who just want to make awesome games. It's super exciting. Grayson, you touched on it a little bit briefly, but the cinematics, I think it's impossible to talk about, you know, 2020 without mentioning virtual production. And to kick off this conversation, I want to mention that small little nice anecdote that got brought to us, which is the fact that the first use of virtual production was actually back in 2001 when Spielberg used Unreal Tournament to block out shots for the movie AI. I thought this was an amazing anecdote. I have no idea about this. And it's cool to see how far back people have actually been thinking about the possibility that we are now today seeing become reality.
Yeah, there's some really exciting things going on there. And I feel like, obviously, virtual production, you know, there's a lot of different definitions of virtual production. And I've always kind of thought of where the real world and the digital world meet in many ways. And I think that it's a cool space to work in because, like, especially for things like previs, it obviously has much larger applications than that in terms of final pixels out of the engine. But I do think that previs is a very, very powerful tool, especially for filmmaking. And having done, you know, very minimal directing at Epic or working on cinematics and different events and things, I feel like very quickly being able to determine what you're going to make, have a lot of people look at it and agree upon that thing is really important. And so I feel like this is a very base level of virtual production. I think it's very, very powerful to be able to present people your ideas clearly in a form that, you know, that they can understand. And I think it's I think it's really, you know, it's a really powerful tool. The engine, you basically using the engine for those type of things is really awesome. And so there's a lot of different applications for virtual production with the engine, and we can talk about that a little bit more as we go on here. But yeah, suffice it to say that I think there's a lot of exciting things happening in the space right now, and I think being creative, I think it kind of like Brian was mentioning earlier too, it really helps you, you know, realize your vision of things and see these things and then start to build on them very quickly. Kind of jumpstarts you in a lot of ways.
Yeah, both the production side and the creative, right? The fact that you can just immediately see what's going on instead of having to wait for a couple of days to render. Or
yeah, and I mean, also it gives you besides just the creative elements, it gives you a good idea of scope, tone, you know, some of the things that you'll need to be, you know, if you're trying to make a movie, some of the things you may have to, you know, consider when you're doing that, or if you're making a music video or something else like that. It just gives you a lot of information very early on. And it's very, for me, you know, it's very easy to jump in the engine and, you know, develop stuff like that and just start to get the idea of what, you know, what we're doing with something.
Yeah, getting past that, like, just blank sheet of paper sort of problem, getting things up.
Yeah.
Well, that's just the beginning of the pipeline when you're visualizing the movie. Then you go and produce it. A lot of these productions are now using Unreal Engine for real-time rendering of backgrounds. So as the director is looking through the camera, they're filming an actor in front of, instead of a green screen, an LED panel displaying exactly what's happening in the movie set around them. And actors can look around the set and see exactly the environment they're in. And so it gets kind of back to the magical movie production era before, you know, computer graphics were introduced at all, in which a large part of the magic of a movie comes from improvisation of the set, on the director looking through the camera and finding a shot that wasn't necessarily planned out, and making the magic. That way. And then at the very end of that process, you have digital assets for this entire production, which, you know, open it up to really easily applying those same, you know, meshes and textures and characters in games, or, you know, in any sort of experience that you might want that's interactive or digital.
Yeah, it's really cool. And to talk a little bit about the immersion too, and you mentioned this, Tim, is that, you know, as an actor or even as a director, you can jump in to, so you make this in virtual environment in some cases. You make your set, you make, you know, the thing that you're trying to shoot. You can put on a, you know, VR headset, or you can use an augmented reality device, or an AR headset, and you can look around, and so you can give direction in in a virtual space, either on the stage that you're capturing the data in, or you can do it remotely as well. Nice. And so that's a really powerful tool. And then also from an acting perspective, it's really cool to actually be in the environment that you're going to be acting in. And in some cases, you can see your own avatar. You can see those as well. And from having worked with a few actors, it's really exciting to see them get into the virtual space and start to understand who their character is. Either they can see it in a headset, or they can see it on a screen of some type. But it really starts to help you get into character. And so, interestingly enough, that process makes a lot of acting emergent, and we get a lot of really creative, great stuff out of being those characters, being in that world that we didn't ever have planned, which is just kind of a lot of fun to watch happen.
Yeah, and the same is true for those LED wall stages. I got the privilege to see a couple of them firsthand, and it's pretty incredible just seeing standing in those volumes, in those backdrops. There could be points there where it even confuses your own brain, like, where are you? But I just had, when I was standing at one of them, I just needed to take this selfie shot. Like, you have to see this, and that selfie shot just looks like I'm in another place.
Yeah, you get the light coming off the screen, so it automatically grounds you in the environment, which is cool.
You get the sense of presence that you can when you're using a virtual reality device?
Not quite, because they don't completely surround you. They go on and everything that they don't cover the side that the camera has, so they're not a complete volume going in all directions. And you don't get, there's no sort of stereoscopy, so it doesn't look 3D to you. So it doesn't have quite the same presence, but the key thing is that it's lighting everything properly. That's the thing that the camera really wants to pick up. But it's certainly better than standing in front of a green screen. That doesn't look like anything at all.
Yeah,
the lighting. You get the full presence of getting, everything moves and parallaxes, and you can see everything in 3D. But it does feel like you're there. And the nice thing is that if you would be acting against another actor, they're going to actually be there, as opposed to seeing them through VR headset. And you can hold props, and all that stuff is going to be physical to you. So I think it's a major step up from the. I'm not an actor, but standing on those stages, that's what it felt like to me.
And usually there's also an element too in the foreground with the actor that can be physical traditional set, and then you have the digital background. So it is pretty cool to see all that come together.
Well, it just makes the whole process more collaborative too, right? Everybody's talking about the experience and the shots and the takes in the moment versus having to pass it through different parts of the pipeline. And
yeah, that gets really interesting too with multi-user and being able to have, in some cases, you're all interacting in the same space. And you can do that there, or you can do it remotely. And that's really powerful as well, that instead of saying, hey, can we move this light a little bit over there, and somebody having to do that, you can literally reach out and grab a light in a virtual space, and then you can move it, and it will, light in the virtual space and or in the real world. And that's a very cool. That lets people collaborate very easily.
This LED screen technology that we're talking about, it was popularized this year by the series The Mandalorian. This was actually large commercial use of in-camera VFX in the LED volumes, and it has inspired about 100 stages that will be available in the next year. And so this is sort of a new revolution, new movement, and hopefully, I think all of the sort of indie creators out there are hoping that the technology will, eventually get a little bit cheaper to the point where you can rent a stage, to do your shots for a couple of days, and just make it more accessible.
They've been starting to use their monitors, right? They have a little monitor up, and they've set up little action figures, and they're starting to use this scene just even on a very small scale. So it transverses a lot of that.
Yeah, you can use, off-the-shelf available tracking technology like SteamVR to sort of simulate that camera tracking. And so you can actually do a lot of that stuff already today with your available hardware that you might even have for some of your projects.
It's really cool to see people build this stuff up from a few ideas, and you start adding new ideas to it, and you get it's amazing where you can get to with some of that, which is cool. Yeah.
And we are really excited to see what the community comes up with in the future. Now, Grayson, you did mention we had talked a little bit about sort of the different use cases for virtual production, and I wanted to go ahead and show something that Weta Digital put together using Unreal Engine. Seth, if you don't mind playing that video for us, please. Now, for those of you who are unaware, that entire short was created entirely inside Unreal Engine, which is quite the astonishment, using some of our new fur and hair technology alongside Control Rig, which was used to animate the characters. Yeah, big ups to Weta Digital and everyone at Epic who helped make this a reality. On that note of sort of, creating virtual production content or, linear media as well as interactive, we also this year released something called the LiveLink Face app, which allows you to use an iPhone to capture facial animation technology, and you can either capture that for playback later or use it directly in real time in the engine. We actually did see a really fun and interesting quick thing that happened. Oh, I should mention the complete demo project, Meerkat, is available on the marketplace for you to download,
hey, Caden.
For use with Unreal Engine 426.
Caden's in the chat
Go
right
check
now.
it out. It's super cool. That's one of our evangelists. Yeah, go ahead, Amanda.
And I was just saying, we've seen so many cool community creations. Like some people have started, you've seen the Meerkat or the video Meerkat from the Meerkat's perspective. So he's like running and hiding from the eagle, or what you were about to mention. One of our evangelists actually made the Meerkat into a little talk show. So you see him sitting there behind the desk. He's got a little screen, so he's hosting a show. And yeah, that was actually using LiveLink Face app, which is, it's really cool to see the various ways these technologies can kind of come together to make even more unique.
I didn't know you were online beforehand.
Yeah, the immediacy of that is really cool too.
I'm not on right now.
In the past, long time ago, we used to have to, we have to wait to get the spatial stuff on a character, but now just seeing it immediately, you get a great read, you can get an idea of emotions, and you can change direction if you need to. But it's a very powerful tool for seeing things right up front. It's cool.
If you're excited about this technology, we're going to go ahead and link some docs in chat for y'all. You can go ahead and it's all available right now. Make sure to pop that out. Let's see. There's also been the use case of virtual production inside Fortnite. Does any of you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yes, bring back the punch, please.
I can talk a little bit about that. I think that we use virtual production almost daily now for parts of Fortnite, whether we're developing events or we're developing cinematics. And we've got a process down that we can jump out to our mocap stage, but do it remotely, virtually. So we all join kind of the same way we're joining through Zoom.
What is happening? Oh, I don't know. They're basically talking about like I don't know what. They're talking about like stuff about Fortnite and other stuff.
And so
I don't know why.
We do this, like I said, we do that pretty often, and I find it
I
really
decided to
helpful
stream it
in
and
developing ideas quickly. And sometimes, traditionally you'll use mocap, or a lot of times you'll use mocap to create a final product. But a lot of times what we'll do is just explore ideas, and kind of like we were talking about earlier, where we can have an actor become an avatar. And
Wait,
you can
so
see
Caden, I have a question. Why are you not online right now?
And so we may come into in a Fortnite sketch or a cinematic with a certain idea.
I might be on
and
today.
that can change very
What
quickly.
does that
based
mean?
on,
What do you mean? What does that mean? You might be on today.
A lot better. And so overall,
you have, like,
the
practice
virtual
or
production
something?
tools that we have in the studio allow us to work much more quickly and to be more creative than we've ever been able to do in the past. And I think that we're always developing that technology more for our own teams internally, but also working with outside partners to basically to learn a lot of different parts of things that they're doing, and we want to help them and they want to help us, because it's a bit of a collaborative effort on that stuff.
I'm at my mom's house right now. Okay. So
Unreal Build virtual production, we actually got to see a few ways different people were using virtual production in their own projects, whether it's from the award-winning director Robert Zemeckis, or how creative director Andrew Jones was using it in The Mandalorian, to a number of other creators that are using these pipelines. So if you haven't seen it, we definitely recommend go watch those videos. We have them all on YouTube. And it's really fascinating to see how everybody's using it in their own unique way and how it's elevating their pipelines.
What?
And if you'd like to get started yourself, make sure that you go ahead and check out the virtual production primer that we released. All right, I think it's time to move on. goes without saying that untalented teams have received grants from the Epic Mega Grant Fund. Tim, would you like to comment a little bit about it?
Miles Morales.
Oh, sure.
Okay.
This is just a way of helping developers who have made some progress but need a boost.
Okay.
You know, with funding, often funding makes the difference between being able to build and expand a team or...
That was just weird. I swear I feel like this. What the... What? Spandex, that, with this, I don't know why I'm a default. Okay, I don't. Save and exit. There we go.
Still some critical need, or just kind of going on.
I got the colors backwards.
Yeah, without really having a chance to.
There we go.
Right. This has been the biggest year for Epic Mega Grants by far. You know, all different sorts. Some at PhD level and some at the underdog. Go through a huge number of applications and really make sure that everybody receives a fair decision.
Make sure you apply. We want to see as many of you as possible sending in them.
Yeah, so we've actually supported a lot of open source projects, even Blender or other game engines like Godot. I was actually curious why you feel it's so important for Epic to invest in these open source technologies, even beyond sort of our own space and our own tools.
Well, you know, the whole industry relies not just on like one piece of software, but an entire ecosystem of components. In a lot of areas,
yes,
you know, some of the leading work in the industry is open source.
Bring back the pumps, Tim. Bring them back.
With some of the subdivision surface work that's been done recently, the leading library is open source entirely. You know, there's now a world-class polygon modeling tool called Blender, which is increasingly used by, it's been used by indies for a long time, but pros are increasingly adopting it too because it's trying to make faster progress than, you know, 3D Studio Max and Maya. So everywhere we can help, you know, that's just something we're eager to assist with. Even, you know, Godot, the open source 3D engine, that I guess you could say it's a competitor to Unreal, but it's a permissively licensed engine with an incredible set of capabilities, and we're really happy to grant them a major mega grant, which provide a significant amount of funding, and you know, I think there will be many, many more in all aspects of the open source community that is in any way related to the 3D content or digital ecosystems area.
Which will ultimately lead to better games, better movies, better projects, better everything, right? And so it's very exciting to see. Moving on, I did want to talk a little bit about the Unreal Marketplace. For those of you who are unaware, it exists in the Epic Games Launcher. It is a place for creators to sell their content, as well as for Epic to provide a lot of content for free. This year, as well as previous year, we released numerous amount of free assets every month, as well as perpetual free assets. And now to let you know, you're available to use these for free inside your games, inside your movies, inside your you know, shorts, novels, whatever it is you want to use Unreal Engine to create. Amanda, do you want to mention some of the things we did this year?
Yeah, sure. So in addition to the 5 monthly packs and the permanent free content, we have over 80 permanently free items as part of our permanently free content initiative. We've also released an automotive, bridge, and beach scene. We also have some really cool community created packs. There was a city park and a factory environment collection that are absolutely beautiful and have loads and loads of pieces and parts that you should feel free to pick apart, add them to your game, modify them. And we kicked off the Marketplace collection. So joining the ranks of Paragon and Infinity Blade, we've added What Remains of Edith Finch as assets into our marketplace. So you can actually pull things from the game, add them to your own projects.
Wait, can you be Gwen?
Planning on adding even more new, exciting content in 2021. But we just always want to remind people that these assets are here for you to use, and you shouldn't be afraid of, oh, you know, somebody has that book in their game, so you can't use it. Like, you can modify them, you can prototype with them, you can tear them apart and learn from them, and update them so they fit in the style of your game or project or scenes, and nobody's going to notice that it's like, oh, I've seen that stack of books before, I've seen that rock. Like, they're not thinking about your game and like picking it apart, or if they are, like, who cares? The point is that you've been able to more easily and rapidly build the experience you're going for. And so shouldn't be afraid to use them, and we're really excited to be able to continue offering these kinds of assets to the community at large.
And libraries content are really foundational to be able to get more rapid development of games. Like the major creative aspects of creating a game experience is not about how one particular little rock.
Oh, I did not mean to do that. I did not mean to use the grappler.
What a designer is really going to be looking for.
Grayson, you had a good anecdote of what you used the marketplace for.
Yeah, I love it. So I went onto the marketplace and we're designing a garden in our backyard, and I was like, man, we could use basically virtual production, same kind of techniques and stuff, to design our garden. And so that's what I did. I went and wrangled up a bunch of assets. Probably spent too much doing that, but it was a lot of fun. And we built out a garden in a virtual space, and it became the plan for our garden. And one of the cool things is I was able to jump in there in a virtual reality headset and look at this garden, and we were able to measure it out to the foot for everything, or to the meter, to everything. So it was kind of cool using marketplace assets.
You never know how they're going to come in handy.
You never know. It's kind of an interesting project.
Love it.
Moving on. Of course, they're all available on the marketplace right now. You can go to unrealengine.com to download the launcher and access all of them. And if you are here and you're interested and excited about getting started with game development using Unreal Engine, it is available for you right now. There is over 160 hours of content on Unreal Online Learning that you can go and access to get everywhere from the basics into more advanced topic in terms of lighting and editing, placement, code, etc. It's all there at Unreal Online Learning. Gotta check it out. This year we also did our first bespoke virtual event, Unreal Fest Online 2020. What came out of that was over 40 videos that are now available on YouTube with topics ranging everything from virtual production to games development, architecture, and enterprise. We had over 50,000 people registered for the event. It was a great time. Do you all have any cool anecdotes to share from the event itself?
I mean, it was just exciting to see cross-industry folks coming in and getting in the same space and learning different lessons. All the sessions are really great, and it was a great way to kind of show off some of our other technology too. So there was an introduction to Twinmotion. So if you're not familiar with it, it's one of the other products here as part of the Epic ecosystem. It's super easy to use UE-based application that helps with visualization, AEC, great for quickly iterating and building scenes. So it's Unreal Fest became sort of this, while it's Unreal Fest, it was a way for folks to come cross-industry, cross-tool sets, cross all these things and enjoy all the parts of our ecosystem. So
a cool video in there for the virtual production, working remotely, which is really, really great. Some good information too. And it covers a really wide range of things that you can do with virtual production. So maybe worth checking out.
Yeah, this whole COVID lockdown situation has really shifted those industries.
I thought Tim didn't talk.
More virtual more, so
Tim.
It was interesting.
What are you doing?
From different voices out there in the industry, like how they're dealing with this 2020 situation that has stuck many of us either away from the office, away from the workplace, in homes, and how can people continue to work? Well, so much of it is happening virtually now, and tools like this are enabling that to happen in a way that either wasn't really the traditional way of working, or is now just like a core requirement.
Monda, I do want to mention and applaud the fact that we have also been doing all of our live streams from home throughout the pandemic. And so if you are interested in seeing some of how some of our partners and teams at Epic have been working, what we've been doing, go ahead and check out the playlist for Inside Unreal. It's been exciting. I remember thinking about Aaron Sims Creative when we had them on. when we had them on. And also relating back to sort of how some film studios are considering producing video games. In fact, when I asked that question for Aaron Sims, he said that yes, they are in fact exploring the possibility of also creating a video game based off of the movies.
I just won a game before,
which I find super exciting to see what comes out of that. You know, teams that are specialized in sort of movie VFX now actually entering the industry of creating video games. Mel, you touched on this sort of as well. You know, sort of how industries are now just crossing.
Well, I think my Nintendo's not cleaned out the stream, so yeah. Real Fortnite license. Yeah, I just love this music.
Nothing's gonna stop me. Nothing's gonna stop me. Feeling so right.
Oh, you get it for free. Who is it? Oh, no, it's just Rocket. It's just a new Rocket League music. It's on chapter 2. Actually, it's not chapter 2. It's just It's probably my favorite one. It's season 2 right now. Look, I can show you a clip that I actually got a victory royale. I can say that I got a win before. Turn the background sound. Turn the background sound off. Okay. Okay. Good. Did. Kind of thinking it may look like a default, but I'm not a default. Now you might see my character is blue, but really my character is actually black. My character's supposed to be black, but it really isn't. Okay, yeah, thanks. So my character was supposed to be blue, but it glitched out the game, so it's black. My character's supposed to be black, but it went blue. So I was in a pickaxe fight, and then everything comes, and then I dipped. I dipped the tier 3 one. The tier 1 subs have arrived, so yeah. Oh, it's okay. It happens. As you can see, knife on charge in here. And then I just get 2 top. One. Oh wait, no, that was one. So then my teammate came to help. So then don't worry, he tried to revive me. He tried. So he picked me up. Came against the wall. He tried to break open this. And he did. So he tried to take me somewhere safe. So then he had to throw me over there. I was fine. Wow, I was fine, bro. I was fine. I was fine, okay? I was fine. I was about to die until fire happened. What's that? Alright, this happened a lot. So then, the place is on fire, so I had to try and crawl out. And then, once I made it to there, I died. But it's okay, because then I'm gonna go into a free play. So then my teammate revived me. My reboot card was literally just right here. So my teammate got the reboot. What the? Okay, now I'm in free play. So my teammate got the reboot card. Wait, how do you make it so like? That's not it. Oh wait, I think this is it. No, that's not it. What did I just do? Oh, okay, I know what that did. It's fine. I'll just rewind back to where we were. Now, there we go. So, hold on. Trying to find how you like this. That's not it. How do you do a thing where like I don't know? That's just very confusing. Oh, it's change it? Okay. No, wait. I know how to put it back on me. Just gotta... Oh, there we go. Finally I found it. Player outlines. Button. Nameplates. There we go. Alright, now... Just do that. Now, I had like a thing on me. Okay, there we go. Now I can see my people's name tags. No, yes, I did get rebooted. I think if I turn the sense down, that's... My goes low, so I kind of just tag him. Tag. Oh. It's okay. Let's tag again. Tag the second time. Look. This guy literally runs away. Look at him. He's that scared. Look, he just ran away. That kid literally just ran away. You see his name. Wait, look. Look how far he is, kid. Look. So then, watch my teammate just tags him. Watch my teammate just actually annihilate him. Annihilated. You saw his name? Now it's gone. Dude, my team's unstoppable. Okay, and just for the content, I'm gonna go into free mode, cause yeah, don't worry, I'll change back to when we get to like the last couple. Someone's gonna see my name tag. Oh, look at the boys. Wait, someone else is here. I forgot. Hello, my daddy. Oh, right. Okay, so you can still see our boy's name tag. So wait, I remember there was like 3. Oh, right, I'm the third person. Wait, where's the other? The other one. Hey, I remember there's someone named... Oh, wait. Oh, that's all of us. Okay. So you see here, it's me and just the first person. Dude, listen, I'll first person now. Dude, I'll do it when we get into like the final circle. But for now, I'm gonna show you the hype and the kills and everything. So that's the Oblivion skin. That was like our original bounty. So then we killed this guy. I thought big brain IQ, where if I killed the guy, I was doing a quest and I had to shake down someone. So I shook him down and then I got the bounty and I got more money. Fine, I'll switch there. Alright, guy was up there. He's getting loot. So I went into this guy's apartment. Fought up for another bounty. Got the bounty. The default was already on the bounty. So I was like, I have to go help the default because, you know, defaults are bad. But until then, Stat Troll just got wrecked. And then we got the bounty and I got more money. Or we got more money, actually. So I went in there, I was like, oh, the dude was. I'm going to stun shoot him. There you go. It's not over yet. So then, my dude took a mini. I actually took his minis, but I gave them back. I gave back 2. Because that's a nice generous guy. That's third person. I know it's third person. I know, I'm switching. It's fine. See, look, there it is. I was thinking about making like a montage, but I didn't feel like hating my life. That is just a glitch. Don't worry about it, friend. Anyway, do you like this combo? It's a pretty good combo, right? So we were accepting another bounty. Getting out of the house. And then all of a sudden the bounty was like all the way like over here. But the bounty was like somewhat in the storm. Like literally it was somewhat in the storm. Like what is it doing? And then we had to go to circle, and James had the right idea to just bring a car, and I got hit like all the way over there. I don't know why, but I did. So anyway, James picked up the boys, but I head out. So then they almost left it like this, boom. But then James decided, you know, he's just in there. There we go. He's acting. Yes, I was doing the thing what Michael did. So we all headed out, and James was like, there's a ramp right there. I want to use the ramp. And I was like, I don't think it's a good idea. So he didn't listen to me, and he used the ramp. But later until then, he accidentally drove us off the cliff. Like this. And there you go. So then he's still driving us off the cliff. So then we went to Lazy. No one was there. We geared up. We got some mats. And yeah. So this kid. One guy, Nico, fell off and someone drifted. So we got out of the car. I got out of the car basically. There we go. Alright, so we crashed the car. No one didn't get the chest above, so I got the chest. I broke open the window. I missed a couple of shots. And I got the chest. And I said, please let them be choked. And there was choked. I took one, but then I left the other one. Because you're supposed to have an SMG with you at all times. So we went there. Michael was checking the gas station for like peppers and stuff like that. And I was at the gas station too, trying to find peppers too. So then I found a Lambo. I wanted to drive it, but I didn't feel like driving it because we're basically in circle. Never mind. Okay. I'll just let the game do all the work. Watch this. I'm playing in slow motion. Look at this kid. Look at him. Okay, are you looking? Look at this man. This guy actually thinks he's in a bush and he's that sneaky. Kane, look at this man. Look at him. You see this? Okay, he left. Well. Okay, I stopped. Caden? Okay, Caden, I stopped. I'll start with the commentating. This is the dynamic weapon. Okay, Kaden, I'll stop. I'll stop, Kaden. Okay, guys, thanks. 11 is over. I'd say thank you all for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.